ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive.
It is Thursday, July 2nd. Your drive begins now on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Our text line, brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop, is open now at 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We got some really good stuff come in yesterday before the show ended. We're going to get into that with you. It kind of ties into some of the things we talked about today and that we're going to cover as well. As it's official, Marshall does release the Sunbelt MAC Challenge schedule, and as we told you yesterday, it is Buffalo that will be the opponent for the Thundering Herd in that first game. Now, we don't know what the second game will look like. That will only be determined by the schedule for the most part. Buffalo, not sure that I'm on board with that opponent. And again, this is not one of those where you really have too much of a say in that game, other than it's a like opponent as far as where you're at, where you rate, where you rank. And I'm sure that there are some protections like, hey, look, we can't play Ohio. We've got them. And there's a couple other schools that you're looking at and you're going, okay, Marshall's already playing them, so you can't do that. So you add this opponent to the schedule. It's Buffalo. It doesn't really entice me. It doesn't really make me feel like this is something to get excited about. And there were some rumblings. I did see some of those rumblings online about how this isn't exactly universally loved by the Sun Belt Conference coaches. So I don't know if that really has any input into this. This is something that the leagues have done to partner to kind of improve the footprint of both leagues. The MAC, of course, has got a little bit better of a resume, I think, in basketball than the Sun Belt. Is that fair? I think it is. You look at the success, and to be honest with you, when Marshall was first flirting with getting into the Mid-American Conference, moving up, the thoughts were, hey, that's all right for basketball because that's a league that gets at least a couple of bids. Marshall should have a good shot at getting into the NCAA tournament. Now, that wasn't the case, but still, that was the thought at the time that, hey, there's actually some good basketball being played in the Mid-American Conference. And so now you're in the Sun Belt, which is more of a football league, primarily a football league, and you get into a league that you should be one of the dominant schools. Historically, Marshall basketball has been good, been consistent. There have been some lulls over the years, but for the most part, Marshall has been one of those, it's a consistent program. It usually is in the mid to upper echelon most years. There have been some times where it's been down. There have been some years. But for the most part, it's not a bad basketball school. It's competitive. And we've seen how this league lent itself to being competitive. I just don't know if that's a positive or a negative, because is this league competitive because there's really not that much difference between the schools? Is that a good thing? Or is it, okay, everyone's down to about each other's level instead of there's 1, 2, or 3 that really excel above everyone else, and that kind of helps lift the league up. So basketball playing Buffalo. Now, with all that said, you love Marshall basketball, you're going to show up and you're going to go to the game. No question. Doesn't matter the opponent. That's always been my argument. I will stay with that argument until I no longer have a voice. Doesn't matter the opponent. Marshall's playing. That's the reason. But with that said, you really like to see opponents that kind of excite you, that are attractive. But the schedule is the schedule. You take the games you get, you go and watch and support the Herd. If the Herd wins, yes. If the Herd loses, all right, pick yourself back up and we'll try again. Texter says, as we go to the text line again at 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255, we were talking about just the leagues themselves and how some Herd fans kind of look down on the MAC. And Texter said yesterday, Paul, I don't look down on the MAC. To me, MAC is more interesting than what CUSA became. Absolutely, I agree with that. Thank you for the text. That's a good point. For a long time, I kind of felt like, you know what, Marshall probably should be back in the MAC. Now, I know the reason why. At the time, the television money, it was better. You thought the money was going to be the primary driver here. The exposure was going to be better. You were playing higher level upper echelon teams you thought you were anyway. And again, I go back to the sales pitch. Remember, here's the big board showing the map of Conference USA. It's like, hey, here's Marshall right in almost in the center of this thing. You got Cincinnati, you got Louisville, you got Memphis. And then, no, that's not what Conference USA was all about. Didn't get that. But still, you thought that, okay, there's some good schools in here. And Memphis was really good at basketball. Memphis by itself helped elevate the league for many years. Which school in the Sun Belt does that now? Which school in the Sun Belt basketball ladder elevates? What's the signature program that people are talking about the way you talked about Memphis? Is there one? I don't think, honestly, I can. Now, football, you can look at it a little differently and go, okay, Sun Belt East is really tough. JMU, they're here, don't want to be here, trying to get out, but they're here and they're good. And then you look at Old Dominion. Old Dominion, they have resources. They're trying to find a way to get out, but they're here, but they're good. They've got the resources. App State's just a good old-fashioned Southern Conference foe for me. And when App State's good in the league, I think the league's good. Then you got Georgia Southern. Again, another Southern Conference foe for me. When Georgia Southern's good, I think the league's good. You got Marshall. You know the history there. You should anyway. Georgia State, interesting. To me, they're interesting. It's a visit to Atlanta. Now, Georgia State doesn't actually control the mind share in Atlanta. It's just in Atlanta. Everywhere else you go, Appalachian State has a nice piece of mind share in North Carolina. Same thing with Coastal. Same thing with JMU. Same thing with all these schools. They have, in the East, they have some mind share there, some more than others. And the Sun Belt has a nice little reputation. Hey, this is an all right league. This is a fun division. I would say more so than the West Division. I think the East has probably, at least it's regarded. Now, the results might not pan out, but it's at least regarded. And football, that's the selling point to this league. Basketball, though, that's why you have this MAC Sun Belt Challenge. It's because you're trying to improve the footprint of the league, the mind share. Texter says, Paul, I don't love the Louisiana Tech ad. We're going back to yesterday because Louisiana Tech, July 1st, now a member of the Sun Belt. The texter says, but realistically, there was no school that was going to help the TV deal or help the conference that much competitively. And Sun Belt West schools have budgets that are millions and millions behind their East counterparts. So helping them save money on travel and sell tickets makes sense. Interesting as well. Sort of, let's make sure that all the teams in the Sun Belt can manage and remain competitive. That's a good thought there because you don't want to be in a league with teams that are just not competing. I don't want to be in a league where it's just one or two teams and everybody else. That's not interesting to me. That doesn't help everybody. We got more texts coming up, and we'll get into those. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255 on the scheduled news today that Marshall will face off against Buffalo in the first game of the MAC Sun Belt Challenge. Also yesterday, I don't know how many of you tuned in last night. It was World Cup round of 32 action, with the United States of America showing up and getting the win over Bosnia and Herzegovina 2-0 in the World Cup round of 32. But the dreaded red card came out, and there's no appeal to that. We'll get into that as well. And your text on this edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Summer starts here. It's Moses Auto Mall of Huntington 9th Street Live every Friday night in Huntington. Presented by Michelob Ultra, White Claw, Big Timber, and Country Boy Brewing. Friday, July 3rd, it's Massing with the Dinosaur Burps on the Marshall OBGYN stage, followed by fireworks from Dog Dazzle. The Little Caesars Kids Zone is back, and Gomart Happy Hour starts at 5. Enjoy 9th Street libations from the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe, Sip Downtown Brasserie, and Summit Beer Station, featuring Tito's, Milagro Tequila, Rebel Bourbon, High Noon, and Lucky One. The after-show party takes place at Jerk Riley's in Pullman Square. July 10th, enjoy the music of the Beatles with the Newbies. The Thundering Herd Rally is Friday, August 14th. Sponsored by Wendy's, Huntington Beverage Center, SODS, Apex Tech, The Great Outdoors Marine, Village Caregiving, Thoroughbred Express Wash, the City of Huntington, Marshall University, Blinko Glass Company, Marshall Health Network Arena, and Kendrick Communications.
Save big money this 4th of July at Menards. Steel roofing provides your home with the best protection from wind, hail, and fire. Choose from 29 stylish colors to enhance your home's appearance. Available in cut-to-length panels that cover a large area for fast installation. Shop our selection of roofing products today. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
This is Huntington Mayor Patrick Farrell. If you haven't been downtown in a while, this is your invitation. Come see Huntington. You'll find families gathered along the river, friends sharing a meal, kids running through the park, music filling the air. You'll find a city moving forward, a city on the rise. Join us July 3rd at Harris Riverfront Park to celebrate America's birthday at Dog Dazzle. Enjoy great food, live entertainment, and fireworks over the Ohio River. Come celebrate America's birthday with us.
Yeah, the name is Oscar's Breakfast, Burgers, and Brews, but you know what? There's more than just the 3 B's at Oscar's. Oscar's has fresh, never frozen wings with homemade sauces and rubs, soups, chili, sandwiches, fresh salads, shareable apps like pretzel bites with beer cheese. Step out of your comfort zone and get something that doesn't start with a B. Get it? Breakfast, burgers, brews. Try something new at Oscar's Breakfast, Burgers, and Brews. River Place Plaza, Barbersville, OscarsBBB.com.
Tired of your fridge sounding like a jet engine? Does your microwave only work when it wants to? It's time to upgrade. You know, before your dishwasher becomes self-aware. Ouch! M&K Maytag in Proctorville is your appliance upgrade headquarters. Dishwashers, refrigerators, ranges, washers, dryers. You'll find it at M&K Maytag. And get it repaired before it takes over your home. Locally owned, never cloned. M&K Maytag in Proctorville. Online at mnkmaytag.com.
Injured in a fall? Warner Law Offices is now here for you in Huntington on 4th Avenue across from the courthouse. Personal, local, decades of experience.
Call 345-6789.
This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Follow at Paul Swann on X for Marshall sports updates and more.
We continue with this Thursday edition of Your Drive. Our text line, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Baseball action last night. The Phillies got the better of the Pirates 8-0, so we had... The Phillies got the better of the Pirates. Let me update my score from last night. I had the wrong sheet in front of me. I apologize. The Phillies beat the Pirates 10-6. So today, what was going to happen? Well, it wasn't the Phillies winning. The Pirates got the win 6-1, 14 hits. And Valdez tripled, singled, and knocked in 2 runs. So the Pirates get a little bit of revenge against their rival, the Phillies. We had that game for you earlier right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Brewers got the better of the Reds 4-2. Reds open up a home series to the Orioles tonight at 7:10. I actually tuned into that game a little bit late. I was watching USA World Cup soccer. And after that was over, I'm like, let's check on the Reds. Let's see what they're doing. Flipped over, 4-2. Okay. Yeah, I see where this is going. So not a good run for the Reds. Guardians got the better of the Rangers 9-4. Cleveland opens up a home series with the White Sox tonight at 7:10. So how many of you watched the World Cup? I tuned in because it was USA. That's the big draw for me. I'm big when it comes to international competitions for Team USA. I'm pretty much interested in all the major sports, basketball, hockey, baseball, any major international competition. I'm interested in it. And USA coming into this match, probably for the first time in ever maybe, as a favorite to win in a knockout game. That's different. The crowd was now there was a lull here or there, but for the most part the crowd was into it. The celebrations across the country, the watch parties were huge. The stadium outside, man, it was electric. I'll tell you this. It's probably going to be even more of a banger in Seattle because Team USA won and will face Belgium in the round of 16. That's going to be on July 6th. So we've got America 250 to get all hyped for, and then USA on July 6th taking on Belgium. Now, USA's in the round of 16. This is the first for the men's team. This is the first men's World Cup knockout stage win since 2002. So that was pretty big. It's been a long time. I rarely recall seeing Team USA win in this thing. And here Team USA is winning. It was a little bit different than the first 3 matches. Team USA had scored the first goal all within 11 minutes, and it took going all the way up before halftime before Folarin Balogun scored to give the USA that 1-0 lead. But later on, he's given a red card in the 64th minute. So the U.S. had to play that final 30 minutes with 10 men. Now, I'm not sure if I'm exactly a fan of that. Not a fan of the red card, to be quite honest. But the momentum changed a little bit, and I thought, okay, you're down a man. It's going to be a terrible thing to see this team just get to this point. The country is behind this team now more than ever, and you lose your best player. Balogun's been the man of the match for the most part. And what happens here, you get a tremendous opportunity. And it was one of the most beautiful things that I have actually seen. Malik Tillman gets a free kick. We're in the 82nd minute, and you feel that any moment now, Bosnia might come up with a tie, with an equalizer. So Bosnia might come up with an equalizer, but then you get the free kick, and Tillman just kicks it over the wall, and it curves beautifully, and scores, makes it 2-0. Team USA keeps Bosnia and Herzegovina off the board. And the USA advances. Now, I've talked to a few people about this unscientific chatter. And I still got from some, like, that was boring. I don't know if that was boring. First of all, the red card was completely, what? I scratched my head at that. He gets a red card. Balogun, your best player, gets a red card here. And then Belgium makes it interesting here. What happens next is, this team plays for 30-plus minutes with a man down and held the other team scoreless. So that wasn't something that I was looking at like, okay, this is boring. Now, there are a few things that, if you're a casual soccer fan, you're like, what does that, what's an offside? Why did they give him the red card? There are a lot of things here, but I think right now, as Team USA continues, this thing is going to grow. Texture says, Paul, Q Country Roads for the USA. Yes, all that. I appreciate the text. How do we feel about that? Let me reframe that. How do Marshall fans feel about that? I'm just gonna target that right now. How do Marshall fans feel about that? That's the big thing. It's gotten big across the country. It's gotten big in overseas play. Of course, in the College Baseball World Series, it got bigger because the Mountaineer fans were singing it. I know every time WVU wins and they sing Country Roads, my social media feed comes alive. As a Marshall fan, do you watch that and go, okay, that just ruined it for me? Or are you on board with that? Because everyone's singing. That was a rowdy crowd yesterday. Everyone was singing Country Roads, Team USA getting the win. I'm personally more of a Freebird fan than Country Roads just because. That's the goal song for Team USA in hockey. But that has gotten a lot of traction. And then I saw a few people scratching their head, national pundits as well, scratching their head going, why are we doing this? Why Country Roads? And, of course, people piled on. So it's very popular right now. So, yes, to the texter, Q Country Roads. It's a very positive thing for the state of West Virginia, and I'm always on board for anything that's positive overall for the state of West Virginia. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Our text line to be a part of today's show here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. So the U.S. also with this win lost 13 straight, or winless in 13 straight World Cup matchups against European teams. The last time the U.S. even got anything was a tie against England in the 2022 World Cup. But this was a win. It was a 10-game losing streak, a 13-game winless streak. But I think you need to start looking at the name Malik Tillman. He could be, if U.S. Soccer does this right, he could be one of those focal points for all the marketing. Him and Balogun, those guys could be tremendous. Balogun is your best player, but Tillman just had a moment. And more, that's what people were looking for, a moment. And if you go on social media, this isn't a slight towards the Fox broadcasting crew, but Telemundo has been where the better action is. I don't understand most of what they're saying, but the goal call was epic, and that's been making the rounds on social media. It's more exciting. It's more exciting if you're watching Telemundo than it is watching Fox, to be fair. Why is that? I don't know if it's just you've got announcers that are more passionate about it, neutral announcers, mind you, and it's full of passion, or you've got the Fox announcers who, to be fair, the Fox announcers are, I don't want to say hired guns, but it's not as if they do this every single day like the announcers on Telemundo, because there's a lot more content there on Telemundo for soccer, I think, or at least when I'm looking at streaming, oh, hey, look, there's because I have Peacock, there's Telemundo there. Watch Telemundo. That's my if you want to get soccer in its purest form, at least watch Telemundo. That's the better presentation right now. Let's go to the text line. Texter says, Paul, next football season, I'd like to see the Marshall fans take up the Norwegian road chant. I like that. Let's put that forward to the community. Appreciate the text. Also, here's what the texter says. Texter says, the World Cup is electric to watch on Telemundo. They are so good. I've watched every game on there. The Messi hat trick game on Telemundo was some of the most fun I've ever had watching sports. Appreciate the text there. Yeah, I'm going to do that more. Yeah, I'll watch Fox for convenience because it's on. I turn the TV on. Okay, there's the DirecTV box. Scroll down. There's Fox. All right, boom, hit it. Easy to do, right? I've got the English speaking announcers. They're telling me a little bit at least what's going on, because for the majority of people, they're casual. Nothing wrong with that. That's where you build passionate fans. Everybody's got to start somewhere. And it's easy to follow, right? But then you flip over to Telemundo and you're just like, oh, wow, I don't know what he's saying, but I'll just listen to him and follow the action. And I know when something exciting happens, especially with that goal. If you follow me on X, you haven't looked at it yet. I went ahead and I reposted that yesterday. That was just, it's so elegant. That's how it should be done. That's how it should be done. I like a little passion in my call. Now, again, I don't want to overdo it, but I think the guy with the long-standing goal call, he's got a thing, and we all love it for him. I mean, we do, because that made it more exciting for you. The Telemundo call made that play more exciting for me than the Fox announcers, which, by the way, they are technically sound in what they do. Your mileage may vary, but they are technically sound in what they do. But I compare that to Telemundo, and it's night and day. Absolutely. If you're going to watch this thing, give it a try. Just pick a random match. You don't know any of the players anyway. I think Ronaldo plays tonight, right? So, yeah, there's a guy. You know Ronaldo. You hear his name. Oh, hey, there's Ronaldo. You know who he is if you're someone who's a little casual about this. Here we go. Texter says, Paul, as a Marshall fan, I love country roads, especially when our Marshall men's soccer team beat WVU on their home field, and sing it to our fans to rub it in WVU's face. Get Coach Grassy back on the show. All right, I'm putting that out there. People want to hear Coach Grassy back on the show. All right, let me reach out. Let me see if I can get Coach on. I don't know if I can get him, but I don't want to take him away from the World Cup. Come on, man. Hey, Coach, can you interrupt your World Cup viewing experience just a minute to come on and tell me about your viewing experience? I'll try. I promise I will. I'm going to put it out there right now. Let's get Coach Grassy on the show. If Coach, or if anyone's listening, can get Coach on the show for me, let's do that. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Let's go back before we hit the break. Let's go back to the fans taking up the Norwegian road chant. Can we make that a thing? Is that something we can make happen? Get the Herd fans to do the Norwegian road chant? Let's work on that. More coming up on today's edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
A celebration 250 years in the making. It's Dog Dazzle 2026. Friday, July 3rd at Harris Riverfront Park. Dog Dazzle 2026 featuring West Virginia legend Kathy Mattea.
18 wheels and a dozen roses.
special guests Ben Whiskey and Brett Mahon with the Tri-State's largest fireworks. Gates open at 5 p.m. Enjoy inflatables, ice-cold drinks from the Smokin' Jay's beer tents, food trucks, fun and family all night long. Dog Dazzle with Kathy Mattea. Get to 937thedog.com for free ticket locations. America 250, Dog Dazzle 2026. Bark On with Kathy Mattea, Friday, July 3rd. Get to Jerks at Pullman Square for the official after-show party. Dog Dazzle 2026. Presented by Gomart, Austin's Homemade Ice Cream, K&B Pest Control, Michelob Ultra, White Claw, Busch Light, the City of Huntington, the Campbell County Commission, Little Caesars, Gomart, Great Outdoors Marine, Thoroughbred Express Wash, Blinko Glass Company, Wendy's, Tudor's Biscuit World, West Virginia Appalachian Laborers District Council, Xfinity, Miller Lite, Coors Light, Twisted Tea, Encova, Kendrick Communications, and 93.7 The Dog.
Red, white, and boom. The savings are exploding at Scioto Shoe Mart's July 4th pre-sale. July 1st through the 3rd. A large assortment of men's and women's casual shoes and dress shoes now $20. Assorted children's shoes starting at $10 and up. Assorted women's summer apparel now 50% off regular price. Don't wait for the fireworks. Save now and shop at Scioto Shoe Mart's July 4th pre-sale. 615 Harding Avenue, Sciotaville. Closed July 4th.
Some places just feed you. Hook Food and Spirits feeds something deeper. A Sunday morning and a Saturday night, all under one roof, 7 days a week. Homemade breakfast all day. Lunch, dinner, food that feels like it came from grandmother's kitchen. Because, in a way, it did. Custom cocktails, craft beer, an extensive wine selection, a lounge to settle into, even a banquet room for up to 500 for the big moments. Convenient parking on 6th Street and 4th Avenue. Hooks. Come hungry. Stay a while. 617 4th Avenue, Huntington.
Here's another Kinder Communications Community Chatter celebrating America's 250th birthday with a July 4th concert from the CK Alumni Band. This concert full of patriotic music will be on the 4th of July, 7 o'clock at the Canova Town Square. Bring a lawn chair.
This Kinder Communications Community Chatter brought to you by Mark Porter Chevy GMC in Pomeroy, Ohio. Home of the Car Ferry. Online at markporterautogroup.com. Hometown Chevrolet, your home of the new 30-mile-per-gallon Chevy Trax and the new 3-row SUVs like the Traverse, Tahoe, and Suburban. Everything you need right here at home. Want a new truck? We have 0% financing for a full 5 years on new 2026 Chevy Silverado 1500s and free oil changes for life at your hometown Chevy dealer. Our used inventory is priced to move with the quality you want at a payment that makes sense. From low APRs to rebuilding, we'll get you done. Hometown Chevrolet, Waverly, Ohio, where everybody drives home.
He's dribbling the ball with everything on the line. He's driving down the pitch. He's facing price hikes and cuts past him. Carrier Contracts tries to block him. Oh, he leaves him in the dust. He's at the edge of the box. He cuts past the nonstop group chat trash talk. He clears on goal. He shoots. Goal! Unlimited data for $25 a month forever!
Visit your local Boost Mobile store today to get unlimited data with a price that never changes. Boost Mobile. After 30 GB, customers may experience lower speeds. Customers will pay $25 a month as long as they remain active on the Boost $25 unlimited plan.
These days, you can use propane for so much more than grilling. Propane is reliable fuel for standby generators, furnaces, kitchen appliances, water heaters, and more. Always with cost-saving efficiency and cleaner performance than electricity. Clean energy around every corner. Propane can do that.
The Eric family has been delivering propane comfort across Ohio, Kentucky, and West Virginia since 1952. Go to ericspropane.com for more information.
Hey everybody, this is Josh Groban. After so many years on the stage, one of my favorite things about music is its ability to inspire and nourish the soul. That's why I'm proud to work with Feeding America, an organization that inspires hope for families in need and helps nourish the 16 million kids in this country struggling with hunger. Every year, billions of pounds of excess food go to waste, while 1 in 5 children may be left not knowing where their next meal is coming from, or if it's even coming at all. Thankfully, the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks collects surplus food and helps deliver it to kids in need across the country. But they can't do it alone. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Miss an episode? Catch it anytime on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
We continue with this edition of Your Drive here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Our text line brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop at 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We had an interesting text earlier hoping that the Marshall fans adopt the Norwegian row chant. What do you think? You think that could happen? Could we make that happen organically? Just get the row chant happening at a Marshall football game? Here's what it sounds like. You want that? Is that what you want in a Marshall football game? Could that be in the future for Herd fans? I mean, it's kind of pretty cool, actually. You got to do the motion. You got to do the motion with it. Though. You can't just do the chant. You actually do the rowing motion. That's pretty epic, actually. That's actually pretty epic. Could you see that happening? Could we got to get the students involved in it. This is something that has to happen now at a Marshall football game. Just get the row going. That would be fantastic. During a timeout, just get that chant going, get that rowing, get the students involved. I don't know. Maybe we need to see if we can adopt some of these European chants and these things that the fans are just doing organically that are bringing to a lot of fans probably don't know what this stuff is about. And then you watch a World Cup match and you see these different fans, different countries come over and do these things. And you're like, wow, that's definitely a lot better than Zombie Nation. Yeah, I said that out loud. That's a lot better than Zombie Nation. We'll get your text in as well, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255 to be a part of today's show here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. You know, one of the things that have come up from time to time, and it's been of a lot of interest, those lights at Jones C. Edwards Stadium. Who knew that lights would be exciting to fans? Because you want colored lights. That's what it is. You want absolutely colored lights to go along with your celebration. Well, we're going to get the new lights. They're almost done. The university sent out a release today announcing that Stephen and Amy New have made a $1 million pledge to Marshall Athletics to help with this light investment. In return, they're going to get some signage on the working press level of Jones C. Edwards Stadium, the box. It's going to be known as the new family level. So they will have that level named after them. So it'll be the new family level. And $1 million, which goes in with the work that State Electric Supply and Dixon Electrical have been doing on the lights. This thing should be ready to go in time for kickoff. So I thought that was interesting today that came out. And you know, if you're someone who has a spot, if you're someone who actually has a box on that level, so now you'll be welcome with some new signage there. And they're really sprucing that place up. I can't wait to see what else they've done, because I know they're going in and they're really trying to perk it up. I guess that's the best way to describe it. Perk it up without actually seeing everything that they've done directly. They're trying to make it feel like it wasn't built in 1990. You know, at the time, I know Lee Corso commented, "Hey, this place is fantastic, but it's now 2026. You want to go in there and kind of update the look of your box, of your stadium, of everything." And so you've already got that cool signage there with Steve Cotton and all the other voices of the Thundering Herd, and so now you're going to have all of that different signage as well. It's going to be a different change for those who maybe show up and go to a Marshall game. There's probably going to be a lot of things that we're going to pick up on as we start filing our way back into the stadium. Our text line, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Paul, what is better, Texter says, country roads or the Norwegian road chant? You tell me, country roads or this? You want country roads or you want this? I don't know. I'm thinking I want this. Constantly. Just have that on a loop. Constantly. Appreciate the text. More coming up. 304-396-TALK. This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Summer starts here. It's Moses Auto Mall of Huntington Ninth Street Live every Friday night in Huntington. Presented by Michelob Ultra, White Claw, Big Timber, and Country Boy Brewing. Friday, July 3rd, it's Massing with the Dinosaur Burps on the Marshall OBGYN stage, followed by fireworks from Dog Dazzle. The Little Caesars Kids Zone is back, and Go-Mart Happy Hour starts at 5. Enjoy Ninth Street libations from the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe, Sip Downtown Brasserie, and Summit Beer Station, featuring Tito's, Milagro Tequila, Rebel Bourbon, High Noon, and Lucky One. The after-show party takes place at Jerk Riley's at Pullman Square. July 10th, enjoy the music of the Beatles with the Newbies. The Thundering Herd Rally is Friday, August 14th. Sponsored by Wendy's, Huntington Beverage Center, SODS, Apex Tech, The Great Outdoors Marine, Village Caregiving, Thoroughbred Express Wash, the City of Huntington, Marshall University, Blinko Glass Company, Marshall Health Network Arena, and Kendrick Communications.
Do you owe back taxes or have unfiled tax returns? The IRS won't quit until they get your money. Here's great news, fresh from those in the know. Major changes have happened at the IRS. If you owe more than $10,000, you may be eligible for a 99% reduction of what you owe. Haven't filed a return for a while? Their happy clients are talking.
The IRS was going to levy my bank account, but Guardian was able to prevent that and fix all my IRS issues. Thanks again, Guardian Tax.
Need relief from crushing tax debt? The IRS now has special programs. Guardian Tax knows all about them. Personal or business, this is the fresh new brick you've been hoping for.
We aren't the company you call when you need a hug because you're scared of the IRS. Guardian Tax is the company that wins when you need it most.
Guardian Tax Service is really great to work with. They really help me out. I'd recommend them highly.
Call now for a free confidential consultation. 800-505-1608. 800-505-1608. 800-505-1608.
Tired of your fridge sounding like a jet engine? Does your microwave only work when it wants to? It's time to upgrade. You know, before your dishwasher becomes self-aware. Ouch! M&K Maytag in Proctorville is your appliance upgrade headquarters. Dishwashers, refrigerators, ranges, washers, dryers. You'll find it at M&K Maytag. And get it repaired before it takes over your home. Locally owned, never cloned. M&K Maytag in Proctorville. Online at mnkmaytag.com.
Hi, it's Tony Caridi. Now, Brad, are you ready for a snackadelic summer?
Rev up the van, Tony. It's time to head to Go-Mart and grab one of 7 specially marked items to score bonus reward points. Plus, 30 cents off every gallon of gas.
That's right, baby. More munchies, more miles, and don't miss your shot to win a $1,000 gas gift card. That's enough fuel to drive the van all the way to the next decade.
Sign up for Go-Mart Rewards at GoMart.com because this summer, the snacks are groovy and the savings are real. Stay groovy, Go-Mart style.
On the basketball court, the soccer pitch, or even the golf course, your crew brings their best not just for the win, but for that post-game celebration. When victory tastes like Michelob Ultra, it's worth every drop of sweat. And if you don't win, you'll still get the beer. It's just on you. Superior is worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, 2.6 carbs, 95 calories. Superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025, Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Big news, Cabell County. King's Tire Service is now open on Route 60 in Ona, across from Cabell Midland. For more than 55 years, we've been serving West Virginia with automotive excellence you can trust. We do more than just sell tires. Our ASE certified technicians are ready to handle all your repairs. From your daily driver to the heavy-duty demands on the job. Our philosophy at King's is simple. We never promise more than we can deliver, and we always give you more than you expect. Stop by our brand new Ona location today, or visit us at kingtireservice.com.
Hi, this is Dave Wilson, host of Metro News Talk Line, and you're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
We continue with this Thursday edition of Your Drive here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Our text line brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop at 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. So we've been talking a little bit about this World Cup and all the things that have just been happening with it. So I watched it on Fox Sports. I watched the 2-0 lead on Fox Sports. And I thought it was a good call. There's nothing wrong with this call. So Malik Tillman gets a free kick. John Strong for Fox Sports has the call. And this is a pretty big deal if he makes it. And here's what it sounded like on Fox Sports.
Tillman! It's in! Malik Tillman! 2-0 United States!
And that's a great call. He lets the crowd, you hear the crowd's into it, you hear all of that. He lets it's a television call. He lets the moment speak for itself. And then I see the Telemundo call. Andres Cantor, you should be familiar with him. And I think this just takes it to the next level.
La carrera de Tillman. Ahí va Tillman.
Man, the lung capacity there. And this keeps going. I thought that was more electric than the Fox call. And I thought the Fox call was really good, to be fair. But if I'm watching this stuff, I'm flipping over to Telemundo, man. I don't speak it natively. That's okay. I can tell that's what's going on. I know there's excitement. I know there's energy there. I just prefer that energy when I'm watching this. And, maybe everyone should just watch Telemundo. Forget the Fox broadcast. Just hop on the Telemundo. It's more exciting. It's more energetic. You don't know most of the players anyway. If you do, bless your heart. That was exciting. That was fun. That's going to do a lot for soccer in the United States. That's going to do a lot for soccer not only professionally, I think the college ranks as well, because how many kids are watching this right now? How many kids are watching this and they're falling in love with soccer? And not necessarily will college soccer take over the landscape the way that college football has, but it's a potential for a lot of growth here. And professional soccer as well, a lot of potential for growth. I do envision a time where soccer could be maybe the fourth, if it isn't already, the fourth or fifth sport. And the argument's always going to be football. I'm going to say baseball and basketball go back and forth. And I'm going to say hockey's in there. Hockey's got a nice international following as well. It's a global game. You're asking someone on the streets of Canada, it's the number one sport. If you're asking someone across America, it's going to vary depending on where your geographic location is. But it's part of the Big Four. And I really see that this World Cup, if Team USA continues to have success, it's just going to get bigger and bigger. And that's what's going to have to happen. Team USA is going to have to go out there and if they win this thing, it's going to go crazy. But if they are in contention to win it and continue to put on exciting matches, this thing could take off completely. I still don't think it overtakes American football, but there are a lot of young people that are following this and know everything, and they're watching all the matches every single time. But I think a lot of it is because the energy we've seen from some of the different countries that have come in and their fans. It feels like it wants to be college. The energy feels college just to a degree. Because international fans are coming out like, whoa, what's this tailgate? What's this tailgating stuff here? This is pretty cool. And that's something that makes, I think, American sports a little different, especially if you're talking about football. I mean, what's part of the fun of going to a football game for you? Is it the game? For me, it's the game. For you, it's the game. What else? The tailgating, right? College is different than pro because there's pomp, circumstance, there's pageantry, there's the chants, there's the bands, there's all of that different energy. You go to a pro game. Pro game's a little bit different. The game's a little bit faster. It's a little more fierce. I like pro football. It's electric. I'm a big pro football fan, but it's two different flavors. To me, it's like Coke and cherry Coke, or in my case, zero sugar Coke and zero sugar cherry Coke. Two different flavors. It's still Coke. They both taste great, but they're completely different flavors as well. And that's what I see right now between football. But the thing that college football has is it's got that something different. And the fans are everywhere you go. They've got that energy, a game day energy. I don't know if you can replicate that college game day energy at the pro level. I mean, NFL's bigger, but college football, everybody's got a college football team. Every state's got a college football team. Some states have got more than one, but every state's got a team. And that's going to do it for this edition. Thank you for tuning in. I'll be back with you tomorrow. It'll be July 3rd. We are one day away after tomorrow to the 250th birthday celebration of the United States. Tomorrow, hope you're taking me with you as you head down to some of our events that are going on. We've got 9th Street Live tomorrow, and then fireworks if you're watching that. Or if you're going to Dog Dazzle, we've got Kathy Mattea, and then fireworks. So big celebration tomorrow, kicking off your Independence weekend. I'll be back with you tomorrow to wrap it all up here on The Drive.
WRBC Huntington, W227BS Huntington, your flagship home of the Marshall Thundering Herd and The Drive with Paul Swann, ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.